Let me tell you something about being loyal. Just as I declared myself a lifelong New York Knicks fan, the Oklahoma City Thunder, which I guess legally by birth I should be a fan of, won the NBA championship.
Did you watch or did you find out?
No, I didn't watch, but I watched the score. I was watching Love Island, but I was like keeping up with the score on my phone.
Okay, bisexual.
But let me tell you, I'm a Leo. I'm loyal. I said, oh, wish it meant something to me. It doesn't.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you don't ride for your city like that, huh?
No, I don't. I don't switch up.
I do.
Yeah. Well,
verse.
But let me tell you something. I'll be your shotgun rider till the day I die. I'll be your shotgun. No, I'll be your backseat baby.
You moving to Paris?
Driving you crazy. I might move to Paris actually, because who has been asking for Two Most Wanted with Miley Cyrus live from the very beginning, from when I pressed play on the album, and who gets it? And how many times did I see Beyonce live? 3. I saw Beyonce out of house and home.
You paid American USD to see it. Well, no.
Well, yeah, because we went together, but then I paid for my New York City ticket.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to be like, oh, she got money.
In the rain. And guess what I got? The same little three little lines of Two Most Wanted as she crossed the stadium.
Yep.
And what did Paris get?
Everything.
Miley Cyrus live. I said, it couldn't be at the Grammys when everyone could witness it. Now I have to see it on grainy videos. It's not right. It's not right.
I just don't know what Paris did to deserve anything.
Girl, Paris is where Blue was conceived. That's what Paris did to deserve it.
They provided a place to fuck. And she said, we owe this city everything. Jay, come on out. That's crazy.
Like, Paris really got... Although Paris night... Whatever night Jay-Z came out, I did not like Beyonce's wig that night.
Oh, well...
They got the good wig. Yeah, they got the good wig the other nights, but they got the bad wig on the Jay-Z night.
I thought it was all in one night. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's so selfish.
No, I think it was either 2 or 3 nights, but I think it was 3.
Why was Miley in Paris?
Girl, I don't know.
I thought that we would have her in LA.
Same.
I thought that the LA privilege would finally work for me.
Work in your favor. Listen, but then at the end of the day, I get it. I would not want to be in raggedy America where they're starting wars.
Yeah. And Miley said, let's take this elsewhere.
She said, we can't have this here.
I've never seen her perform, and I've always wanted to perform.
Oh, you never seen Miley perform?
No.
Neither have I. Well, but she doesn't like touring. That's like been her, like, yeah, it's like very like, you know.
Which is why this felt so privileged.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But listen, one thing about Two Most Wanted, well, it's talking about friendship. According to Miley's Instagram caption, she said, I'm so happy to sing my song about friendship with Beyonce.
So not only the word choice of friendship is so funny in the gayest song ever.
Well, define friendship.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Miley Cyrus is historically known for trying to get her little lick in with anyone that she's doing a duet with.
The one with Ariana Grande, the backyard session. Oh, now that started some stuff.
You have had a coffee today. I said, let me try to get a word in. I don't know. Shit. It's a solo podcast now, I guess. Damn. If you are selling a coffee and you see this woman, lock the door. She's activated.
No, it was actually extra too, because when I went to get a coffee, the baristas were arguing about who's the greatest vocalist of all time.
And he said, well, funny thing.
I said, actually, Whitney Houston. Oh my God, it's so great that I'm in this conversation now. It's Whitney Houston.
Did you actually get involved?
I did.
Did you win?
Well, no, yes, I had some support in the room. Okay.
People stand up and they applaud.
They were like, yeah, actually, yes, Whitney. And then someone said Aretha. I said, okay, totally valid.
I can hear that.
And then someone said, I don't want to say who it was, but I was like, oh, not her. Let me tell you that.
In a coffee shop?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you knew the people there? You're familiar?
No.
So you had beef with people already? You came in, got a coffee, have beef with someone?
Well, I was like, oh, not her, but okay. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, keep going.
I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy that we got Two Most Wanted live.
And delivered. Something so special about the way that Miley Cyrus bit her lip, looked at Beyonce. Beyonce looked away and said, nah, I know this little lesbian ain't biting her lip at me. Not this way.
What do you think of Miley's boyfriend?
The lesbian?
I'm glad that you said it.
Miley's going to find her way back to bisexuality, no matter what.
Find Your Way Back. Also a Beyonce song.
Yep.
It's short-circuiting over here. Okay.
I know. I'm getting nervous. I'm like really stressed out. My back hurts.
Okay. From carrying the podcast. Yeah.
No, you're doing it right now. I'm just along for the ride. It's a bumpy ride, but I'm in the car with you.
Say your
Two
thing.
Most Wanted. You and I both. Oh my God. I don't have a thing.
I thought you had a music thing.
Oh,
girl.
See, I forgot because I got so wrapped up in you. This morning.
Happy Pride wrapped up in me.
Okay, you really got to tone it down a little bit. I'm getting
sorry,
tired. Keep that in too. Please. Okay. Well, this morning I started piano lessons. The artist's way. I'm really good at piano. I forgot that. He was really impressed.
All right, Alicia Keys.
Yeah, well, quite literally. Where do you think I got it from my mother?
No, literally, Peyton Keys.
Yeah, I'm so back. So anyway, who knows? Next thing I could be on tour with Beyonce and Miley.
Yeah, except actually next week, you know where you're going to be? In Los Angeles. On stage at EatsCon. We will be at Infatuation EatsCon doing a little chat.
Our LA privilege kicks back in.
Again, yours, not mine. But we hope to see you there.
28th.
We're excited.
Yes, 1:30 is our time.
Girl, you know time zones confuse me.
Yeah.
I don't know what time.
We'll leave a comment. Someone check there.
What are we talking about this week? Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank God. This week, we're talking about the new A24 movie, Materialists. We're doing a little Love Island catch-up, and thank God, because I have to defend Ace's honor. And we're joined by Tourmaline to talk about Marsha by Tourmaline, her new book.
So let me say this.
Are you looking for a home for your worst opinions?
Are you a hater first, but a lover of pop culture second? Consider this a glorified group chat. But we're not calling you out. No. We're calling you in. It's a safe space.
To talk shit.
But, of course, from Wondery, I'm Peyton Dix.
And I'm Hunter Harris.
And this is Let Me Say This.
I've been saying too much.
You've been saying a lot. Let me say that, actually. Quiet as it's kept. Oh.
Let me say this.
Okay, I've been dying to talk about Materialists because I have many thoughts.
Any good?
I have two good thoughts.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You found two?
Oh, Lord. She's starting.
I'm sorry. Yeah, where's my coffee?
Okay, so quickly, Materialists was written and directed by Past Lives director Celine Song, and it follows Lucy, played by Dakota Johnson, a New York City matchmaker who has to choose between, guess what? A rich man and a poor man. Rich man is Pedro Pascal, poor man is Chris Evans, with veneers that look too expensive for him. I'm like, bro, I thought you were broke. How do you have those veneers and that hairline?
Do we start there? Do we start at the poverty line?
And he has roommates and veneers that expensive. I was like, wait, the math is not adding up.
Hunter, we need to say the true thing. Chris Evans's character was too poor.
He was too poor.
He was too poor. Hear me out. No, don't come for me. They think just because I'm in LA.
Let me actually get a fork and a knife because I'm about to eat the rich. Hold on, excuse me. My tummy's talking. I'm hungry.
Okay, there was no need for this near 40-year-old man. The way they do numbers here, let's call him 40. Had two roommates in Bushwick at best.
It was not giving Bushwick.
Ain't never went to a commercial audition in his life. He must be an actor. Get real. Don't piss me off.
I was like, sorry, how are you too good for commercials? Allergic to making money. Allergic to a check.
No. There's that. I need to stop calling it the poverty line. I feel like I need to work around that. But that was crazy to me. But then we need to talk about Dakota Johnson's salary in this. $80K before taxes.
Okay, everyone is so obsessed.
Her lip combo alone, $50. I saw Mac everywhere.
Everyone is obsessed with her making $80K. And listen, guess what? Oh, excuse me, it's a movie. It's not real.
It is real to me.
It's fake.
It's real to me.
Guess what? There's an actor and there's a director and there's a little mark on the floor, little X on the floor, and there's someone with lights and someone with a microphone. And they say roll camera action. It's a movie. In these
trying times, you're gonna put Dakota Johnson, who doesn't even know what 80K is a waking up for her. You're going to put her in this movie and you're going to deliberately put that line in. 80K before taxes, you're deliberately going to put that in. You know you're just shaking the table for that. You're just pissing people off.
That wasn't the really crazy part to me. The really overt part was making Dakota Johnson scripting for her to say that she's not a good actress.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple times. I was
nasty.
Like, no, that's not nice.
Yeah.
And I love Dakota Johnson.
Of course.
And I will ride for my sister. And I miss her tooth gap. And I don't think that she should have been saying I'm not a good actress, especially in a movie where it's not her best performance.
No.
That's a bigger splash.
I think
or that one Maggie Gyllenhaal movie.
A bigger splash. Great movie that a Hunter Rec never misses. Except for when you made me watch this. Because I think that in general, the thing that I noticed that was really pulling me out of it was these crazy juxtapositions between Pedro Pascal's wealth and Chris Evans. See, that's how pissed I am. And his poverty. And then the distinction between her character and all the women that she works with at Adore, the agency that matchmakes for people. Mm-hmm. it just felt all too obvious, all too on the nose. It didn't need to be that dramatized for us to understand the wealth gap or, you know, the bridge in personalities between these sorority type girls that all move together, and then her as this lone wolf that like carves her own path.
Yeah. I mean, it did kind of really continue to draw your attention back to like her being a cynic and her like not wanting to be like all the other women are like in the office are so excited about engagement and so excited about, you know, falling in love and making like building connections for other people. Yeah. And she's like, well, I don't really care. And I'm like, it's not like Cool Girl, but it's like a version of that, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of took me out of it. But I think the biggest thing is that for a movie ostensibly about people who are thinking about like wealth and money and class, and also just like, not like shopping necessarily, but like having things that other people can't afford and like the value in that. There were shockingly few markers of that in the movie. Like shockingly few markers of like other ways to show that you're valuable other than just like being with a tall man. And so the good thing I can say about it is that I did feel like in Pedro Pascal's apartment, which did look like a one hotel lobby, I was like the silk sheets that he had, I was like, okay, now those are sexy.
Yeah.
That is like that telegraphs something about his character that nothing else in the movie really is like nothing else works on that level.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is a man who likes nice things and wants the nicest of everything.
Yeah.
And that kind of made sense. For everything else in the movie, I was like, I don't really buy that these are people who live in neighborhoods, who have friends, who have a coffee order.
None of them have friends.
Who go to like a real restaurant, you know? And that it all kind of felt like a lot of ideas and conversation that all really was reduced to one idea, which is that, oh, you think you want to like be valuable, but actually you just want to fall in love. Which is not, that's like a 5-paragraph essay.
You said, and I wrote it in college, turned it in, got an A-.
Girl, I wrote that in Jane Meslenka's middle school class, but okay.
You didn't write that at Emerson College? Someone wrote that at Emerson College. And it turned into material. No, I'm kidding.
No, we're so...
No, I'm this movie kind of irritated me in every possible way. I think something that also really, we got to talk about it. The height surgery reveal.
No, okay, that worked for me. That worked for me the entire way because I felt like that was the first time that these characters had ever had, or excuse me, the second time that they had a real conversation.
Yeah,
it's like finally we're getting to the meat of something here, where it's like we are not in love and this is not working, and actually we, you know, despite being like we're so adult, we're so modern, we just want to like feel something deeply. And it's like finally two characters admitting that. And I only wish that she had said, like, this is the first real conversation we've ever had about how we feel about each other. That's not about like, how you're too good for me or I think you could be doing better.
Yeah. Which those conversations, oh my God, let's get a grip. Let's get one singular grip. I can't take, the thing the Materialists did over and over again was like, get up, girl. Why are you talking? I know that you're putting relationships in numbers, but having to be like, I'm not good enough for you. Like, this is what I offer in both relationships.
The math doesn't work. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Straight people have many, many problems.
Well, yes.
Happy Pride. Yeah. I was like, if it taught me anything, if the Materialists taught me anything, I was like, straight people are not okay. And all they have is Dakota Johnson and Chris Evans and not one of them, just Dakota Johnson and Chris Evans.
But I think Pedro Pascal was the strongest piece of this movie to me because he was someone, of course, but he's someone who was like, first of all, whenever he sat next to her at that wedding, and he moved the card. I said, ooh, I do love a man.
I love a gay man too. I was looking at that every time they would make out, I'd be like, what's a, denial is a river in Egypt. Your husband is gay. They had no physical chemistry, not an ounce.
But I think that
That's
worked.
A point.
That was a character. Yes, that was like a character play because, of course they're like kind of like square, hole, round peg because it's not present for them. Like the attraction really isn't there. But I did feel that, I don't know, I just kind of didn't buy that Dakota Johnson wants to be in love badly, like decides like, okay, I want to be with someone who I love. I don't just want like a rich man with like nothing going on upstairs. And then here comes Chris Evans, but it's like I never came around to the fact that it's like, but he
also has nothing going on.
He hasn't earned this at all. What he says, okay, I'm gonna guess what, go out for an Arby's commercial and I'm gonna take on more catering shifts. I was like, that's also not what she had, like, as a character said her objective was. She wants to be in love. And here comes Chris Evans. And he's like, when I see you, I see our children.
Yeah.
I was like, girl.
But also the why. There was nothing was set up to me enough to like believe in any of their relationship.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Because it's like
10 years later and you're still doing the same shit. And she's like, actually, let's give this a go.
No, that's what it didn't ever connect. Like why she and Pedro like did not work out made complete sense to me. Like that, was like a closed circle. But it's like all of a sudden, Chris Evans is just there.
Yeah.
And listen, there are more straight men in New York than that.
I was gonna ask, if you had to choose between Chris and Pedro, who would you pick?
Have we not been friends for 15 years? Damn near.
Who would you pick?
Who do you think I'm picking? Don't piss me off.
Okay. I think you would pick Chris Evans because no, I'm not done. I think you would pick Chris Evans because at the end of the day, real hunter core, real in the gut, you love you a Boston man.
No,
yeah, you
don't.
Do.
You
do.
No,
the one that was in prison.
You just
remember that one?
Don't even talk about that. You truly just pissed me the fuck off. You really did. How dare you?
No, you would pick.
Why would I not pick Pedro Pascal?
No,
why would I not pick a man who, has a nice kitchen, who can afford good delivery?
I just like to get Hunter activated, as if she wasn't already activated from the coffee. I come on this show every week to piss Hunter off. I say, how can I ruffle some feathers?
What about me? I don't want to have a child until I can fly private. Who's going to give me that life?
Ask the audience. I don't know. Nobody in this room.
No,
you deserve Pedro. You deserve a beautiful gay husband who will love you, tall or short.
Who do you deserve in this movie? I don't even know.
None of them.
You deserve Dakota Johnson running through West Village, trench coat button to the top, ballerina flats, big forehead with the hat. Yes, that's what you deserve. I think that coat was the row though, so I actually would take it.
Oh my god, no, yeah, I wouldn't pick any of them. But that's my whole being gay thing.
It is kind of a strange, like, I don't know what to call it, that I did not really enjoy or appreciate this movie, but I did appreciate an interview that Celine Song did with the New York Times where she was talking about the romantic comedy. Not that I think Materialists is a romantic comedy,
no.
But I want to read you this quote because I want to know what you think of it. She was speaking to Kyle Buchanan in the Times. She said, "When we see trailers for a movie like this, people just start calling it a chick flick. There's a very easy way that you can dismiss it. I'm really interested in directly addressing the way that we completely dismiss matters of the heart. Not a single one of us can actually escape this problem, which is love. Why is it that it's the one thing that we're considering as not important in movies?" And see, they could have read that, and I'd been like, period.
The movie could have been that quote, and I would have loved it.
Exactly. No, but I it's just such a funny, like, almost like I believe so much in this vision, and I don't think that Materialists really executed on this premise.
Is this doing well at the box office?
Yeah.
Relatively?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was flopping. After seeing it, I was like, there's no way this could be doing well. But sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. I loved Past Lives. You were not a Past Lives lover? No. Okay.
It was fine.
Okay. I loved that film. And I was hoping to feel at least a version of what I felt watching that movie and the amount of like detail in yearning and backstory and like creating a moment that exists within a glare. I was like, oh, that is like something I want to feel here. And I felt devoid of any emotion. And you know me, I'm filled with emotion.
Yeah.
Button to the top with emotion. And I guess like hearing this quote is so lovely, but I didn't feel a single piece of that in the movie.
Yeah, it does. The whole movie kind of feels like shockingly impersonal.
Yeah.
To me. In a way that, I wasn't the biggest fan of Past Lives, but I do think Past Lives was ultimately accessing like more interesting ideas about like, identity and culture, of course, but also about like how to really know someone and how much like you can become different versions of yourself in different relationships. Yeah. And I didn't get any of that from this. It's like Dakota Johnson was the same in both relationships, and both men never really felt like they saw her. I mean, it's like, what, she loves Chris Evans because he's like looking at her face being like, what are you thinking right now? Girl, nothing. I think I had to pay some bills. That's what I'm thinking about.
Spend 10 minutes with a lesbian. She's going to look at you and say, what are you thinking right now? Spend 10 minutes with me. Spend 5 minutes with me. I got Hunter on.
I never get that.
She's shivering over there. She's like,
what? I never get that treatment. I'm told to be quiet, Tiffany. That's what I get told.
Speaking of the difference in her two films, I also think there was a lot of interesting shifts in visual language in this. She played with a ton of physical comedy in a way that I maybe didn't expect, definitely didn't need, but felt almost campy, again, in comparison to past lives. But like the moment when she is at his apartment for the first time and she's like pulled almost like a cartoonish way, like into his bedroom, or even the way that all the little sorority girls that work at a door move almost like little penguins and shuffle.
It's funny to call like Dasha a sorority girl working at a door, but okay.
Well, and I don't know. I thought that was an interesting choice. And I'm curious. These films feel so different to me. And I'm curious what she really thinks about both of them, or which she finds herself more drawn to create.
Interesting. Yeah, I did something that worked for me in the very beginning of the movie that kind of made me turn on it halfway through is that it really feels like it's borrowing or kind of mimicking like the visual language of like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or 2 Weeks Notice or even My Best Friend's Wedding, or even Legally Blonde, where it's like you have to kind of get ready with me's, like all of that, like walking through the city, Devil Wears Prada kind of stuff. It all felt like it was really gesturing toward that visually. And yet it's like both material and an actress who is not so comfortable in that mode, you know, which made it feel like I'm watching almost like a version of that, but without any like the big romantic swings of those movies. Because even at the end, it's like the Chris Evans monologue where he's like, you know, that should be on paper like a pick me, choose me, love me, Grey's Anatomy, like big Shonda Rhimes, big emotionality, big swing. And yet it all just kind of felt like, like really anvil dropping. It's like nothing's really, I don't know what I'm supposed to be feeling right now.
And the amount of monologues in this damn movie. Oh my God. This Dakota Johnson always has something to say, and talk about being long-winded. She got it from me. Two quick things about this movie. The minute I knew I was out, which yes, this is in the very beginning of the movie, was when we cut to the cavemen. Immediately out. I don't want to.
But cut to the cavemen. That's literally minute one, girl. That's literally minute one of the movie.
Yeah. And I was out, and I stood on business for once, and I saw the dirt under their fingernails, and I actually thought, ooh, Hunter would hate this. I was like, I could feel her skin crawling.
Given with what they had during the time, what are they going to do? Take a sharp rock and give themselves a little manicure?
Maybe. One of the hardest pills for me to swallow. She didn't have a passport. Dakota Johnson didn't have a passport.
And it's always a bitch who does not have TSA pre-check. He's talking about she doesn't have a passport. And now you do, and now you do. And how long has it taken you?
Actually, it only took 2 days, by the way, to get it.
With 30 years in 2 days. Yeah, totally.
No, sorry, but I wasn't 2 years old with TSA pre-check.
The thing that I got hung up on continuously is that both the client, played by Zoe Winters, and Dakota Johnson, both have apartments on the first floor, the first apartment in the building. You both have that? Nah, girl.
It's a wrap for me, child. But shout out to my girl Celine.
This is like when you called Sophia Richie boring 3 times in a row and said, "Oh, but I don't want to offend her though."
I know. But I love past lives. Let me say this. She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now. With us today, we have Tourmaline, who is an American artist, filmmaker, activist, editor, and writer, and friend of the pod. Welcome, Tourmaline.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored.
Thank you for being here. I have a very important question for you. Yes. Do you consider yourself a lover or a hater?
I reveled in the hate for most of my life, but now I'm in the loving moment. How
Lover
about you?
era. What, is that a recent change? When would you say that happened?
I think it happened in 2020. It was like the lockdown. I was just like listening to a lot of Laraji and other kind of like meditative music, and it felt like it was so freeing to let go of everything that was holding me down. And also I really needed to be in my hating era in order to get to where I am today.
And say that we need a hater era to get to the lover era.
Always.
And I'll get there one day.
Yeah. Hunter's still deep in that hater era, but she's on her way out. She's seeing the light.
And there's no better or worse. Just to say, there's no hierarchy of emotions. I think I couldn't have been reveling in joy without having gone through rage and revenge for so long.
Are you a lover or hater of Pride in New York City?
I'm a lover. I have to say, I don't think I ever was a hater. I came up, through organizing and just seeing a bunch of people who, like hanging out on the pier, who this is 2007, 2006. This is the one day, folks are able to like turn up the volume on their lives and be out and be with each other. That was like, those were my first prides. And so forever, I'm like all about it.
Are you a lover or a hater of rainbows?
Okay, it has gone like first lover. And in 1993, I got my first rainbow from like my gay uncle, David Farwell. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then I was like, this is so corny. And then in that moment of like, 05, 06, 07, everyone just being like from the door on the pier, Christopher Street Piers, it's like everyone with the rainbow. Like, I was like, oh, this is so beautiful. And then I was like, oh, this is so corny again. And now I'm kind of like, I don't know. I love flowers. I love adornment. So, do you with your Technicolor,
I always say the people who love rainbows are always straight. You should see my mother's closet. Oh my God, she's leading a pride parade, you would think, because of the amount of rainbows. She's always like, I know a gay person, and it's my daughter. Put it right here. But, okay, last lover-hater question. Are you a lover or hater of being queer?
Oh, yes. I'm a lover, honestly. There's these moments where you're like, oh, is this even my community anymore? It's like gotten so whatever, but I'm ultimately a lover.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like you couldn't pay me top dollar to be straight. And I tried.
Exactly.
I gave it the good old Girl Scout try.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
Some of us still are.
Yeah. Well.
Yes.
Well. Well, we want to talk about Marsha. Oh, sorry.
Yes, I'm straight.
Okay, I'm so sorry I don't.
No, please. First of all,
okay.
this is my best friend, so I get it daily. Like,
she's seen this. She's like, never. I don't want to be gay. She's like, you couldn't pay me top dollar to be gay. Yeah.
I've seen the struggle. I've witnessed it firsthand.
But thank you for asking Hunter if she is gay, because most people kind of just know. There's a knowing with you. Respectfully.
Most people are like, she wore an Apple Watch in 2021. Yeah. So, yep, she's straight.
Yeah. That's Apple Watches are either so gay or so straight. I don't know.
Yeah, they're really that binary. So gay or so straight.
Yeah. Nothing in between.
Nothing in between.
We obviously want to take some time to talk about your new book, Marsha, which is about the life of Marsha P. Johnson, the civil rights activist, through the first brick at Stonewall. So we want to take some time to ask you, what even drew you to this project? What made you want to write this book?
So this book has honestly been a 20-year culmination of researching, of being close to the people who knew and loved Marsha P. Johnson. I moved to New York as a teen and then very quickly found a community in the West Village on Christopher Street Pier who were shaped by Marsha. And as an organizer working around healthcare and welfare and housing in the early 2000s and up until like 2014, when I went to make film and art, Marsha's legacy was just so incredible, so tangible, and I needed to know more. I needed to know who this beautifully adorned person was, who was also like leading the way in terms of organizing sex workers and organizing around housing and doing performances every day. And so to me, there was something about her life that just plugged in the light for mine.
That's so beautiful. I want to know, well, actually, something I learned from your book is that the P in Marsha P. Johnson was Pay It No Mind, stood for Pay It No Mind, which I had never known. And that's so cool. But I want to know from you, what were some of your favorite facts or quotes from Marsha that really stood out to you as you were writing this book?
I loved how she moved to New York City in 1963 as an 18-year-old and very quickly found a community. She found a 13-year-old Sylvia Rivera who was out hustling on the streets because she wasn't comfortable or safe at home. And she used to rent these hourly hotels, Marsha, for her like adopted young ones, and in them they would just dream. They would sit together and imagine a world where they could go outside and feel less shame and more power and more beauty and not be harassed. So I loved hearing about how Marsha, even as an 18-year-old, hit in Times Square, was, taking care of her community. And then I loved learning about how she was an LA girlie. She was living in Calabasas. She was living in WeHo. She was living in Skid Row. And, to me, that just felt so beautiful. She took her art and her magic everywhere she went. She performed in London. And so there's these expansive aspects of Marsha beyond, the flowers in her hair, and which are so important, but about how she mothered, how she performed, how she showed up, and how she dreamed a world beyond the harsh conditions that she found herself in.
I also didn't realize how young, Marsha was, but Sylvia, when I was reading the book, I didn't
Yeah,
realize that she was so young. And something that
so
I think
young.
is really beautiful is your ability to show the fullness of, it's so easy to other an activist, to make them put them on a pedestal and only think of them in that way and not a full person. And you really give a full personhood to Marsha P. Johnson in a way that I think we haven't maybe quite seen before.
Well, I just think it's so important that we get to live full lives beyond just being only heroic or only the villains. Like sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we may mess up in relationships, or sometimes we're having like hard mental health days. And that to me was important to show,
Yeah.
Marsha navigating.
How would you say your relationship with Marsha P. Johnson has changed since 2018 from your film, Happy Birthday,
hmm
Marsha, to now with this book?
To me, as an organizer, in like the early 2000s, it was about Marsha's organizing tactics. And then as a filmmaker, it was about Marsha's performance. And now it's really about Marsha's spirit, her like spirituality, how she knew her life didn't start when she entered her physical body and didn't end when she left it. Marsha's spirit abounds around us. And to me, I'm just like really reveling in that in a moment when we're all, you can't open a screen or hear from a loved one or go outside without immediately being hit with a world that can be really hostile. And so to me, I'm like tuning my dial to that Marsha spirit that pays it no mind and also brings all of our community together. And that's been a huge change.
Yeah.
Something else that I was really curious about that really moved me in the book is how you talk about Marsha's like how she would adorn herself and how that kind of quality
Yeah.
came from her spirituality and also from like growing up in the church. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, Marsha grew up in the church in Elizabeth and Black Church, Mount Teman, and she also was taught to light candles for the saints, by Sylvia Rivera. And she had a real consistent spiritual practice that involved candles, prayer, and adornment with flowers on her head and flower crowns. And so that was a really big part of Marsha, and her favorite holiday was Easter, resurrection, and she really just like she was living out that lineage, and that style, and some of my favorite photographs in general are like, Marsha or like other Black women on Easter Sunday, like turning up the volume of who we are. And so I love seeing Marsha step into that, but then also like make it extra camp, like extra
Yeah.
loud, extra, it just
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
yeah.
There was a similar feeling in the way that, were you at Cecilia Gentile's funeral?
No, I was in London, but I knew Cecilia for like over 15 years.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
those photos were incredible.
Yeah, being there felt like such a similar visceral feeling to what you created in this book and shown through Marsha. The camp, the drama, the legs, the tights, the
Yes.
I would say like all of the performance that kind of comes with not just queer people, but being in the church. That is something that I thought
Yes.
was such a beautiful bridge between, Marsha's interest in the church and then her performance as an artist, and just as a trans woman.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I think that's so real. Like, I grew up in the church. That's where I started to perform, do theater. And it was a Catholic church, but there were so many queer people, and that's who was leading theater. And so similarly, there's a Catholic church on Christopher Street, St. Veronica's, that Marsha was, organizing candlelight vigils for her fellow street queens that were, dying in the early moments of the HIV/AIDS crisis. And so we always find each other, and we're always in these spaces, regardless of if the institutions want to like erase us or like say we're not here. We're actually like, we've always been here.
More queer people in the church than many like to realize. Okay,
I'm going to say Catholicism is camp. Like,
Catholicism is literally camp.
Catholicism is literally camp. Exactly.
Look at the Pope. I'm
look at the Pope.
Come on, Pope.
But we touched on this a little bit when we were talking earlier, just about like the rainbow of it all and the rainbow washing of Pride. How do you feel, with the story of Marsha and looking at where we are now, how do you feel about the contrast of Pride starting as a riot and the way Pride now can kind of feel like a big marketing campaign?
Yeah, I mean, that's so real. I think part of it is, like Pride started in the back room of Stonewall on the dance floor. Marvin Gaye heard it through the grapevine, people reveling in this rare and often contested space of being together, right? Mm-hmm. Like Stonewall was not a very welcoming place for people like Marsha. She could be there sometimes and couldn't be there other times, right? And then the police raided it. And so there was this huge uprising, that many, many, many people saw Marsha play a primary role in, and also the young street queens in Sheridan Square, right? Like people demanding that, the state, the police recognize that, like, we are not going anywhere. Like, and so to me, that's really what Pride is about. And like, we are not going anywhere. We are actually finally attuned to our beauty. And the, United States Supreme Court or the UK Supreme Court doesn't get to tell me how I feel about myself, right? They're not like making any declarations about my understanding of me that I'm going to be adopting anytime soon. And so that's Marsha. And, like, I think that's the real origin and the real heart of Pride, and especially now when our conditions are so harsh, like that's the one I want us to all be tuned to.
Are there any specific Pride rituals that you do every year?
Oh, that's a really great question. For a long time I used to throw flowers in the water on Christopher Street and just kind of pollinate the water. And I was doing it without knowing. In the process of writing the book, I was watching Marsha's funeral procession, and they're all throwing sunflowers in the water, and it really was incredible to be like, oh, I'm like a big. And that's exactly the spot that I was doing it. Like without even knowing it, I was kind of like in this process with Marsha and Marsha's spirit. And so I think flowers in the water. I think like, dreaming, like what would it be like if I knew my beauty? Like how would I go out today if I like knew my beauty in an even deeper way, like, or like, how can I support our collective knowing of our value in an even deeper way? I think those are some ones. And then just like, like, hey,
just a key,
just the key on the corner. That's a big ritual for me too.
How are you celebrating Pride? Hey, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you ever go to Reese Beach? Is that ever your truth? Are you ever there?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I've been going to Reese since 2005, and that has just it's been amazing to watch it change and not change. Yeah. And like every 5 years, there's like, some big thing where we're like, oh, Reese is never going to be the same. And yet it continues to be a place that we all go to. I remember like, also, it's like, it's not the nicest beach. I remember one year in like 2010.
We should hold space for that.
Everyone that day, it's
not the nicest.
We all know New York City beaches, just to be fair.
Do y'all go to Reese?
Yeah,
I've been. I honestly, I didn't know there was like another part of the Rockaways.
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
I was like, I thought it was only Reese for the first 3 years I lived in New York.
I don't know. I love Reese for what the feeling is of like being in queer community and seeing so many bodies and seeing bodies so free. And then I'm also like, so that's human shit, love, and
Literally.
and I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to see through it, but I'm also like, oh God, let me get my nutcracker and get it together. But
oh my God,
there was one year where we were all. This is like 2009. Every single person was like covered in some kind of sea bug. I was like, why is everyone washing themselves out like in the bathroom? Like people were ripping off their clothes in the bathroom, like and I was like, oh, it's because there's some deep infestation in the water today. Like, little did we know. And that's Reese. It's like the contradictions and the beauty and
queer joy.
I'm actually never getting in that water again. Just to be clear.
This is what queer joy looks like. It's like a sea monster on it.
Literally.
This is such a hyper-specific question. You did a Dream Baby Press love and hate list. We've done it as well. We're very seasoned.
Yeah.
But one of yours I have to call attention to. It has nothing to do with Marsha P. Johnson. Yes. It's just a question on... You said that you love theme park influencers, and I'm going to need you to say more on that.
Yeah, no. Okay, so right now, my partner, Cameron, is an attorney in Miami, and so I've been living in Miami for 2 years, and we get Cameron doesn't like theme parks, but there's a discount you get for living in Florida. It's like $75 you can go to Disney. And so I just take these long drives to Disney and like listening to my manifesting things. And then I'm like, what's going on here? And I never, as a child, like I didn't grow up going to theme parks. Like it was a totally not part of my life. And then I went and I was like, oh, I get it. It's about, as an artist, creating a emotional experience through physical infrastructure and sound and smell. And so I'm like, oh, that's what I try to do with my filmmaking and my art. Like I try to have something that calibrates an audience to a paradigm shift. Like, oh, we have value, or, oh, like we can go after our dreams, or, oh, like we're really beautiful. So that's a through line through my art. And so the reason why I enjoy theme park influencers is because there's a vibe of like, oh, nothing serious is going on here, and I'm gonna like take you through this ride that is like a roller coaster, or the new Harry Potter. Maybe not the new Harry Potter.
Yeah, I was like bold, brave.
Yeah, literally. But the new Mario Kart, Nintendo Land, or you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, oh, this is really fascinating. This is on a scale that I really want to create on, like for my art, like right now I like make a short film or a show in museums, but I want to create like just a really big immersive environment where people can move through and have that kind of paradigm shift that Marsha was offering by doing thrilling or ease-filled or pleasure-filled experiences. Like Trans Pride LA was like that. It was blocks and blocks and blocks. Anyway, so all that is theme park influencers are just like living that life. They're like going every day, like, oh, this is the food to eat at Epcot, or like these are the top 10 attractions this year. And to me, there's just something like I just get lost in the sauce with it. That was a very long answer to the question.
I learned.
Question.
I was like, that was actually a beautiful answer for something I was really nervous about. Yeah. I was like, you have to legally say more because theme park influencers can go either way. But I liked your framing up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tourmaline, for your time. If you haven't, go get Marsha right now. Stop what you're doing, pause this podcast, or keep playing it as you walk to your nearest bookstore and go get Marsha. Thank you so much, Tourmaline. Where can people follow you?
So I'm on Instagram, Tourmaline with 3 I's, and also on Substack. It's, so thank you so much for having me. And also at your local library or bookstore, you can be, picking up your copy of Marsha. It's also on Spotify, Who Knew, anywhere you can listen to books. It's available. I did the narration. It was a really wonderful process, and I really appreciate y'all's time having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Like my ritual is leaving. Pride. I'm like, get me out of New York City.
Get me out. Get me to Reese Beach.
No, I had to really be like, this is the beach everyone was talking about.
But you're from LA. You're a beach snob.
I am a beach snob. Sorry. But it was really beautiful until I like got in the water and I said, that's not where I need to.
Yeah, that's not for me.
I'm going to be a fan on the side. I know we're going to fight today. We already have like 14 times, but I know we're going to fight. I know we're going to fight right now.
Let me say something off the top.
Sure.
I love me some Ace.
Ugh.
I don't care. I don't care. Boo, his tomato. I don't care. That's my man, and I'm standing by him. He did nothing wrong. Jeremiah had to go.
No.
He had to go.
Before MAGA Austin, before that sharp-faced motherfucker.
We'll get to that. But here's the thing. Jeremiah's a different type of time. Because Ace from the very beginning, Ace clocked, you're just unserious. You want to like talk to this girl, like stay with her throughout the whole thing. No, this is a game for people who win.
Hunter, let me tell you what you just told me. There are cameras, there are characters. It's a show.
No.
He don't need to be serious.
No.
He can be as goofy as he want to be.
Totally. Be goofy, but on someone else's time, on someone else's clock.
But Ace's clock.
On Ace's clock, no. Ace, I saw the tweet that's like, Ace is 22 and running that house like the Navy. And he is. Ace looking at Taylor, you have no sense of urgency.
No.
Excuse me. You need to pull it together.
Ace
this is Alandra's on the line. You need to lock in. Ace to Jeremiah. I don't know what you're talking about with Huda. You're love bombing each other and it's too much and it needs to stop. It's too much drama here. And then the conversation with Ace when Huda was on the chopping block and Ace and Shelly like were one of the couples who voted to save her, and Huda turned to Ace and was like, and Ace said, hell nah. I said, God forbid a man stand on business. Isn't even clocking to you the business that he's standing on right now.
A Hunter Yvonne Harris moment if I've ever seen one. To be I said I don't fuck with you. I'm not fucking with you.
And, at least with Amaya Papaya, he did say straight up, I don't like the babe. I miss me with that. I don't like all like the touchy-feely stuff. I'm not that into this.
I cannot defend him on that.
But I'm glad that he said it because listen, look at Austin. Look at Austin not saying it. Give the opportunity to
Austin
tell the
is
truth.
a Trump supporter. And she said, I'm Dominican. And he said, oh, I don't even know. Austin's just there cleaning the pool, having the time of his life, getting sunburned. My God, get him off the show. The issue with Sunday night's elimination was that, one, Austin was right there. Mm-hmm. You are all going to vote to get Jeremiah out. Why? Because he's your competition. That is the only reason. No. Because they saw that fine-ass woman walk in. I've never seen a body like that. Body so tea, I'm dehydrated.
Ooh.
Waist wear.
Can tea dehydrate you?
It can hydrate in some circles. And that's not the point of this.
Totally okay.
She's literally the baddest bitch I've ever seen in maybe Love Island history. At least.
No, she's 10 on 10, except for personality's not really giving.
I don't need
That's
her.
why she and Jeremiah.
She's so hot, she don't need a personality.
Oof.
She is fine right where she is.
Period, and say that.
And that's what people say about me often, actually. Except I have a huge personality.
No, we have too much personality on this show.
That's why we have a podcast. Yeah. Oh. But it just felt like Ace was threatened by this person. They all love them. Some, I forgot her name. And so I do think that like
Andreina.
What is it?
Adreina.
Mm-hmm. I definitely butchered that. That's fine. But I just feel like Ace, the minute I saw that it was who was voting, Ace, that one stud
Ace,
lesbian.
Taylor, and Nick.
Yeah. Taylor's built like a stud. Taylor being like, I'm built like a hooper. No, you're built like a stud, my king. I'm so sorry to tell you the truth. Oh my God, he ain't lifting nobody. But those two were right behind Ace always. Mm-hmm. They stand on business, and that business is Ace. And they said it's over for Jeremiah. Even Jeremiah's face was twitching, just like, I'm done.
I know. No, I was watching Ace fan cams this morning, and I was laughing, having a time, girl. And Remy comes over to me and wants to see what's on the screen.
I swear
to God, it was so funny. But let me tell you, Ace is playing the game. It's not called Friendship Island. It's called Love Island.
It's not called Ace Island.
Who gets $1 million Island? I don't even know how much money they win. But Ace from the beginning clocked that Jeremiah was annoying, and he executed. He had a plan. The way that Ace had his sights set on getting Jeremiah out of the house, maybe because he is handsome. But Ace, Ace needs to graduate from this show to Traitors because he'd win in a heartbeat.
Okay, wait, I do have to ask, how did you feel about the girl they eliminated Hannah?
I don't care about Hannah. That was fine. Okay. I honestly think they could lose Pepe too. Like, he's hot, but their relationship was never giving to me. They're just like kind of random.
Well, now I think that Huda's going to step her pussy game up as if she hasn't before and make a beeline for Pepe now.
I think that they should, because definitely TJ's not feeling her.
No, he made that clear.
Yeah, that was quite obvious. I do think that I do think that Huda has a shot with Pepe from anyone in the house.
Yeah.
But who do you think is going to go after Andreina now?
Everyone who has eyes, include Shelly. Shelly should.
Shelly.
I'm still getting over the way that Ace was dogging her, so I'm really pro. I'm pro Shelly just being a little bit more bi, because I will say, in terms of who's acting the most gay right now, not Shelly, who came out, is actually Sierra. Sierra.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, is she gay or is she just like that? I can't tell.
I love Sierra. I love Sierra.
I do, and I was sad that Nick made her cry. Nick lost a few points for me.
Lost many points.
Yeah.
But of course, listen, men are, I'll say, dumbasses.
Yeah.
And so Nick and Ace putting their heads together, they're like, oh, it's because you guys had sex. No. It's like, did you not hear the conversation you just had? This is what I'm like, oh my God.
You just had sex with her and was like, but you could do whatever you want, like, because I'm going to do whatever. Like,
it's so crazy. Ace is usually on, he needs to tighten up.
And if he does usually give good advice.
He really does.
He should be the future host of the show.
And listen, because Ariana Madix is not giving.
Oh.
It's very Jennifer Hudson show.
I don't watch.
Ariana Madix's hosting capabilities is very Jennifer Hudson. It's like, well, so someone has to talk. Someone has to be the host here.
Beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns, beautiful abs,
beautiful body. Yeah,
beautiful
body.
No,
she's in the gym working on her fitness.
Yeah,
we're her witnesses.
But I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something.
Okay,
I might be on that Huda redemption arc.
Really?
I just, people were shocked that she was not in the bottom 3, but I wasn't, because someone who has so many haters has that many more people that ride hard for them. And maybe because it's my Palestinian princess, she's just having a hard time.
Is she from Palestine?
She's Palestinian. I don't think she's from Palestine, but
well, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know who they're. I'm hoping that the Casa Boys hit at least.
Oh no, they do hit. They showed them in the preview.
The Asian one, I forgot his name. Fine as fuck, but crazy. Very. I'm from London haircut.
Ooh.
Very like blunt cut, very turf bob, but fine as hell everywhere else. You just wear a hat.
I didn't look that closely. I just saw like a clip of them and I was like, I couldn't even see faces really. I was just like, oh, they all look fine.
I'm Spy Kids meme. I'm like, let's see.
Truly. Okay. Who do you want dropped from the villa next?
From the boys. Next up, I want Austin.
Totally.
Want him gone. For the girls, Iris isn't doing it. I know they need a token white, but
which one's Iris?
Exactly. The missable white. Who's paired up with her missable other white?
With the lip filler.
Yeah.
No, she's fine. I don't mind her, I guess.
No, I want to be activated.
If someone has to go, but I know everyone loves Amaya. No. I'm kind of like, I don't think your man is in this villa. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he's here. I don't think. I could go with Huda leaving too. Truly, no. I've had enough.
No. I need her to get her.
No, Alandria, Shelly, Sierra, and we've had a bit much. We're all aligned. We're like, girl.
Alandria's exhausted.
Your man's not coming here.
You know basketball. That the meme of that guy. That's Alandria in Love Island, all bent over.
Oh my god.
Okay, wait. Back to you. Who would you kick off next, boy and girl?
100% Austin. Because he was cute at first, but you know what I was saying though. 100% Austin. Yeah. I'm just kind of tired. He doesn't seem to have any new connections either. He's like not really talking to the girls.
He's not trying.
Exactly. He's not trying, and that's kind of business that Ace stands on. He has to see effort to stay in this house.
You ride for your man. I'll be your shotgun rider. That's about you and Ace. Most wanted.
I was thinking Beyonce, My House. Who they came to see? Me.
Okay, what girl are you kicking off?
Amaya. I want better for her. I don't think it's here for her.
Twitter's gonna have a gun to your head for saying that. But
okay, fine, Iris. Fine. I'll bow to peer pressure and say Iris.
I just need, this is a call to action, even though the girls have no access to internet, but I'm gonna say I need them to slut it up in Casa Amor. I want the whores in this house, okay? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm begging for. Please, God. End scene.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, that's it for this week. As usual, we are 2 online, so you don't have to be.
But we will be offline and at Infatuations Eats Con in Los Angeles on June 28th. We will see you there.
And hopefully we will also see Austin, because he'll be out of the villa.
Why would I want to see Austin?
I don't know.
And quickly. But let me tell you what I am listening to. The new Haim album. We didn't talk about it this week, but I want to. I love it. But I do have clear favorites. There are clear standouts.
Yeah. Well, we don't have time for that right now. Follow us on socials at Let Me Say This Pod, at Peyton Dix, and at Hunter H. Let Me Say This is hosted by me, Peyton Dix.
And me, Hunter Harris. Let Me Say This is a production of Wondery.
Let me say this.